I think a lot of people like Place2Be because it sort of can help you, and younger people like going in case, because younger people do have problems as well as older people.
Children often don't have the language skills because they're developing to express themselves, so they often act it out.
And if they're acting out or withdrawing, then they're having an impact on the teacher, they're having an impact on their peers.
So unless you find ways in which to support all of that stuff, then you can't get on to all the things about, you know, learning maths and learning English.
The class teachers are not trained in mental health issues and are dealing with it day in, day out.
1 in 10 children are likely to suffer from some kind of mental health issue or are going to need attention at some point during their development.
Place2Be provides children with one-to-one work, long-term and short-term one-to-one work, which is therapeutic work undertaken by a counsellor in a Place2Be room for 50 minutes once a week, so at a regular time and a regular place.
Because a lot of these children are just looking for somebody to let them down. That's what's happened in their life. They've been let down, or they've challenged and they've pushed people away.
The Place2Be offers another option, which is to provide the child with some space to talk and think about what's going on for them.
The play therapy particularly allows children to voice a lot of the fears, a lot of their worries, a lot of their challenges in a supportive, confidential manner.
I like it, the Place2Be, because Miss Hudson, that works with us, lets us draw our feelings down, and that really helps instead of explaining and getting yourself upset.
It provides children with a way of telling a story. Quite often children will get hold of wild animals and there'll be, you know, tremendous fights going on, and there'll be a lot of bashing around, and then there'll be movements, and figures might get buried and then found again.
It's a private space which isn't intruded on, and that's really important.
So there's a post box outside the head teacher's office, and any child in the school can write a note and say, I need to talk to somebody. There are huge things that worry children, and they bring them all to Place to Talk, and we sort them out, and sometimes we draw about them, and sometimes we throw glitter about.
Sometimes it's a family problem, sometimes the parent needs help to deal with the problem as well.
People who face mental illness challenges, who face domestic violence, who are alcohol or drug abusers, don't automatically want to receive help.
Place2Be has a much more acceptable face to it, and being in a school, it becomes a natural part of every child's life in that school.
We're basically giving the additional support to the parents who are also working with the children.
The Place2Be also offers support to the teachers if they need to discuss a particular child that's causing them problems.
We do training for all our volunteers, and then we do training for people who work in schools. Sometimes it'll be schools that we're working in, sometimes it's schools that we're not working in. We do training for our clinical staff, who are the employed people, the school project managers basically.
I think the benefit that training gives to the children is actually they get staff who learn how to actively listen to them.
We have a very strong evidence base to suggest that the Place2Be is doing what it says it does.
The Place2Be catches a lot of data about a lot of children that it works with and tries to, in a very rigorous way, find out answers to these questions.
The data that they've offered me makes me sometimes say, wow, did you see that many children?
The problems are increasing and we've had to work harder to keep up with them, but I can still see that Place2Be is making a difference for these children. There's an awful lot of them have lived with the most horrendous things in their lives, and they may only be 7 or 8. And Place2Be has been there for them and helped them through that.
The very moment of a child feeling understood with a Place2Be counsellor, even in that moment of feeling understood, that's worthwhile in of itself.
A resource like Place2Be should be in every single primary school, because if we can sort out children's emotional difficulties and behaviour now, then the future must look brighter.
I think that Place2Be is very good value for money.
It's helpful, supportive, and it's quite well organised as well.
Place2Be is a member of my team, just like any of my teachers and support staff. We wouldn't be able to survive without it.
I think Place2Be is great, I've got to tell you. I really do.
And just like Helen, and she says, whenever you need a problem, just come to me. She's a very friendly lady.